So Twig recorded our first victory of 2022. Firstly, what did you make of the performance?
That was a really tough one, Joe. That's why I'm really pleased with the group, that we had some ascendancy early in the game. Up to halfway through the second quarter, we had a reasonable margin, but Port Adelaide really reeled us in just at half time and felt like there was a real arm wrestle in the second half. And sometimes those games, night games at the parade, can be real hard slogs, and it's the way we've trained and we value that part of the game. So when you're able to come out as victors, especially the first time this year, we're really satisfied.
Yeah, really strong first quarter, and then a good start to the second quarter. Then it probably, shifted momentum. Port got excited. I mean, what did you find of that, and what did you make of the out?
Yeah, well, they made a few adjustments at stoppage, Joe, which is a really good strategy by them. They challenged us a little bit, and we probably didn't quite react quick enough, and it started to have an impact on the game. And we adjusted just late in the second quarter, and then half time we had to put a fair bit of work into how we wanted the game to look, and players were able to take it on board. Really well coached from our coaches to be able to talk through the players what we needed. So I'm really satisfied that when we've felt adversity, that this time we're able to come out the other side as victors. We've felt adversity over the last 2 weeks, obviously, against the Eagles and Glenelg. So I think it was a really tough game. SANFL footy, 102 tackles to us and 98 to them. So it's pretty demanding.
Yeah, you're never going to get games always, on your terms, like you've said in previous years, last year, sorry. But how proud are you with the grit that we showed, in particular, from stoppage and being able to just, grind through and get a result?
Yeah, I'm particularly satisfied because at the end of the day, wins like this really count when the whips are cracking late in the year. About no one wants to write a story later in the year about what happened in round 3. You just need to get the job done. And I thought we were stronger for longer over 4 quarters. And when you're a coach and your team is able to do that and perform that, and your leaders, I thought Nunn, Wilkins, Hamilton, Kennelly, Boyd, all had Hamilton, did I say him? All really good moments across the course of 4 quarters, but in particular the game was online.
Obviously, 3 pretty tough weeks we've had so far. Take on both the premiers, the reigning premiers, and then you've got a Port Adelaide game on Easter Friday. I mean, talk about that 3-week block.
Yeah, it's been solid. Like, you get tested out pretty quickly. The Glenelg and didn't play quite to capacity, but we ran home pretty well. And last week we did so much right, but we weren't good enough to get it done. And tonight you jump out, opposition comes back at you and gets a few things on their terms, and you come out after 3 weeks knowing that you're well conditioned, hardened for the season. That's the thing. Like, your trial matches get you to a point, but these last 3 games have been physically demanding, which then makes it mentally demanding. So we get 10 days, I think it is now, between now and really vital game for our club, play at Port Lincoln, and it's a big deal for our club. There's been a lot of work done by our board, and James Fantasia as a CEO, and I know Rick Shroud has done a heap of work to really engage with the people in the EP, and our club's genuinely pumped to be able to play over there, and it's not lost on us the impact it'll have on our EP players as well. So it's a big week, and we get to just recalibrate the next 4 days over Easter, and reset from when we resume next week.
Yep, well said, Twig. And just lastly, just touching on a couple of players tonight. Obviously, Cam Tahani, he made his debut in 2019 against Port and was pretty impressive that night. Kicks 4 tonight. What do you make of his game?
I think he's one of our best players, Joe. He's been just gradually building over the few weeks, and his baseline of consistency has been quite good over the last couple of weeks, but probably just having some gaps. But tonight, every time the ball was in his area, something good happened, and he's starting to really look lively with his impact. But I've been really proud of Cameron's capacity to rebuild his body and train and play, and he's had a rough couple of years, and people need to be aware that he's done a lot of work to get back to being in a position to be able to perform in an SANFL field. So that was pleasing. I think Ethan Warburton as a debutant was terrific. He looked calm, he was tough, he didn't look out of place, and that's what, when you're making decisions on first gamers, you want to make sure they can deal with the intensity of this level of footy, and really pleased with Warburton. And the other one probably wouldn't mind mentioning is Josh Richards. So Josh has had COVID over the last week and a half, and it was going to be a risk for us to play him given he only got out on Wednesday this week. But he's got a great conditioning base, Josh, and he's a tough individual, and that showed out in the 4th quarter. He was still playing long minutes, and he had big moments which impacted the game. So it was really pleasing from Josh to be able to come and perform for us.
Thanks, Twigger.
Go ahead, Joe.